Hello everyone, welcome to our poem series that is about teaching poetry. And in the previous class, as we have discussed some of the basics regarding the understanding of the poems. So, only the first point has been discussed, that is about learning of the archaic words. Because these are all sort of things discussed beforehand or before teaching a poem, so that it will lead or it will give an easier way for you in order to understand a poem. So, in the previous class, as I told you regarding all such thy, thou, and etc., let you come across some of the uses in your own texts. In many poems, you will come across such archaic words, but if you know them beforehand, automatically at the time of reading a poem, you can understand it better. So, I think for the beginners, this class will be highly valuable to you. And for the honor students, you have to go a little deeper, or time permitting, I shall publish some of the classes, or I shall just discuss about the poems and about the poems basing on all the aspects essentially required to generally appreciate a poem or to go to the depth of a poem. So let us today continue. Today we shall just discuss the second point. What is the second point? To learn the second point is to learn the rhyme and rhythm. For the term rhythm, we shall read later, but in case of rhyme, it is very important, because many poems have their rhyme scheme, different rhyme schemes, and we should learn at least what a rhyme is. Suppose I may exemplify you. Suppose the first line, what it is? I wander lonely as a cloud. That floats high over vales and hills. All of a sudden, I saw a crowd a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing, in the bridge. See, So as far as rhyme is concerned, rhythm is something different, and we should learn many things regarding the term rhythm. And first of all, let us now know about the rhyme. So what is the rhyme? Rhyme means, see here, suppose in the first line the sound comes as D. But that floats high over vales and hills, here the sound is saw sound, saw. It is non-aspirated saw. All of a sudden I saw a crowd. Again, do sound. Then comes a host of golden daffodils. Again, the saw sound. Then beside the glade and beneath the trees, here jaw sound is there. Trees, jaw sound. It is not S. We don't pronounce it as trees, rather we pronounce it as trees. And fluttering and dancing in the breeze, here also jaw sound is there. See, how easy to understand the rhyme scheme now. First of all, see do sound, if we take it as A, then it ends with saw sound, so we shall, as it is different, we shall take it as B. Then, as it is the same sound as the first line, then we can take it as A. Then, it is again, it rhymes with the second line. The second line rhymes with the fourth. So, it is the same sound, we have taken B, means here we have to write B. C. And here, it is something different, trees, jaw sound, different from A, B, A, B. Then what will be it? Then we may say here it is C. Then as it is similar sound to this one, then we can take it as also C. So if someone asks now, then you can now know, or you can tell that what is the rhyme scheme. Here the rhyme scheme is, what is that rhyme scheme? The rhyme scheme is a B, then a B, then CC. This is the rhyme scheme. Why do you consider it as the rhyme scheme? Considering the sound. So, what is rhyme then? It now becomes very clear to know the definition of rhyme. What is rhyme then? The successive sound at the end of the line similar to the another line. If it occurs that, then we can call as a rhyme. So here, see the sound, do sound, here it is do sound, similar. And it is bo sound, saw sound, it is also saw sound, similar. So it is the rhyme. But see here that we just understood what the rhyme and what the rhyme scheme of this particular stanza. So this is the stanzaic. We should learn also about the stanzaic patterns. Stanza patterns. What are they called? If a stanza consisting of 2 lines, if another stanza, many poems are written with the 3-line stanza, with 4-line stanza, even 5-line stanza. So different poets adopt different stanza pattern, and let us now know what are the stanza patterns. Stanza patterns. I am discussing everything superficially. These are meant only for the beginners, for the learners who just want to enjoy poetry. But basically, for the honor students, many things are there. Much more, even 20 times much more things are there we have to learn. Or time permitting, I shall discuss all such things. But as I am going to teach you poetry or the poems, beforehand let us know these are some of the fundamentals, and what it is about? Stanza patterns. So, beforehand, you know that stanza is the division of a poem. In case of, before teaching you about stanza, let you know some fundamentals regarding what it is. Suppose it is a novel. These are the prose, you know. Novel. Then comes drama. Then comes, these are different forms. Later we shall discuss. But as far as stanza pattern is concerned, novel, drama, then comes essay, story, etc. These are the different aspects of prose. But when it comes to poetry, see, suppose you have to make another column, it is poetry. So forms of poems, another point may be, though I have told you only 3 points, the 4th point may be included here, that is the forms of the poems. So poetry, we know that sonnets are there. Just, we shall have a brief discussion regarding all those things. Sonnet, then elegy, then comes sonnet, elegy, then ode, and after the ode, lyrics are there. Ballads are there. So these are the different forms of the poems. But see here, epics are there, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Iliad, even the Odyssey, the Paradise Lost, the Paradise Regained, these are all epic. We shall discuss individually. See here. So when novel, it is the division. How is a novel divided? Chapter or episode. Chapter, or we may call as the episode. What a drama, act and scene. Essay, paragraph. Essay has its division of paragraph. And story, it is also paragraph. Short story, basically short story, paragraph. See, but all these things except epic, it is the large narrative poems, so that is why. How are they written? Their division is stanza. This is the difference between prose and poetry. Your prose, all the prose generally, like novel or drama, they have their own divisions, and here in poems, all types of poems have their own division, that is called as the stanza. So different stanzas are there. What are they? Let us know today. So that is why let us discuss about the stanza pattern. See, stanza pattern. Number 1, stanza consisting of two lines. Then it is called couplet. Then stanza consisting of 3 lines. It is called tercet. Then stanza consisting of 4 lines. It is called as the quatrain. Then comes stanza consisting of 5 lines. It is called as the quintet. Then stanza consisting of 6 lines. It is called as sestet. Stanza consisting of 7 lines. It is called heptet. Stanza consisting of 8 lines. It is called octave or octet. See, nonet and decade for 9 lines and 10 lines, it is not required at all for us as we are the beginners. So we should learn at least. And when I exemplify the stanza about or generally what? Making the rhyme scheme, we know that stanza had or the stanza consists of 6 lines. So what can the stanza be called then? Sestet. Having the rhyme scheme A, B, C, C. So these are some sort of things we should learn. The questions may not come regarding all such things, but while you go through a poem, it can add certain beauty in your appreciation. It can develop certain aesthetical pleasure of reading poetry. So, this is all for today. Again, in the next class, we shall continue about the rhythm, which is the most important in poems or the poetry.